And pop star turned crooner turned musicals regular Marti Pellow is at the Edinburgh Playhouse this week, starring as narrator Che in the Tim Rice, Andrew Lloyd Webber musical Evita on the Scottish leg of its UK tour. It's just the latest in quite a big line of musical roles that he has played. The Culture Studio's Amy Ferguson went to the Playhouse to meet Marti, finding out first about how the cast all get on.
It's very important that you have a cast that bond together. This is my second cast on Evita, but all the principles stayed the same. I enjoy working with Mark, and Madeleine Alberto's absolute force to reckon with on this part. This is perfect for her. She is a beautiful singer and really understands the whole piece. And Mark has done several tours of Evita, and he brings a lot to the table for me too. You know, that whole triangle of Perron, Shea and Evita has to be strong so that you're prepared to invest in a little piece of your heart on the journey, and Madalena brings that out on the audience. It's superb to watch, and one of my favourite scenes is the hospital scene with Mark and Madalena, where even though you've just went on this journey with them all, and she's at the top of her game, so to speak, and she has everything she wanted, apart from her health is fading, and it shows the whole fragility of life in that small scene. And I think that's a testament to Andrew and Tim's writing, where you can really invest a piece of yourself in that scene, and it's a beautiful journey.
The choice was mine completely. I could have any price that I desired.
I think it all started when Pete Townsend offered me the part of Tommy, and he kind of got me thinking about musical theatre, because it was way off my radar. And I remember doing a gig for Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey at the Royal Albert Hall for the Teenage Cancer Trust, and there was a couple of producers in the audience that night from Chicago, the musical, and they came backstage to say how much they enjoyed my performance, because I was singing with Ruthie Henshaw, who's a big musical theatre star. And she said, "You'd be perfect at Billy Flynn." And I said, "Well, I don't really think musical theatre's for me." But when I went and saw the show, I fell in love with the Kander and Ebb score, and that started my journey. And I kind of got a taste for it, and that made me want to explore more, which was my wish list of parts I'd like to do. And I've been lucky enough to be able to do most of them. The ones that I've picked, the Billy Flynn, or the Witches of Eastwick, or Shea, or the narrator in Blood Brothers. These are all parts that really appeal to me, they're quite dark in their way, and I like that particular side of musical theatre.
Tell me it's not true. Say it's just a story.
You say you played the narrator in Blood Brothers. I guess Shea's a kind of narrative part as well, isn't
it's like
it?
That Greek chorus thing, it really is, and it's all about Willie Russell's Blood Brothers. There's so much heart in that piece, and I think that's what I learned about that stillness, of the narrator, where you observe, and so when you do say something or when you make a movement, it's very iconic, and that's something that I'll be forever indebted to that piece for, is to be able to stand and still have a presence and not disappear. It's very hard.
You say iconic. I suppose that's the thing. People know Evita, for example, so well, and they feel almost ownership of it. Is there a bit of pressure to kind of live up to people's expectations who love the musical so much?
Well, I'm a songwriter myself. I sing a songwriter myself, and I believe that I can bring something to the table to these characters that I play. So I think I've just got to trust in my own heart. And because I'm pretty savvy that if my enthusiasm far outweighs my talent for the piece, and I love these songs because I grew up with them in a pop domain through David Essex. Oh, What a Circus, or Another Suitcase in Another Hall. These songs, Don't Cry for Me Argentina, they live very much in a pop domain. When the first time I was ever turned on to them was by seeing them in the pop world. So they're very accessible songs, and I inhabit the lyrics as a singer-songwriter, or I've had number one songs with songs that I haven't written before, but I make them mine, and people seem to embrace that because, there's an honesty to the way I go about it.
Once upon a dream, I conceived a
Have you had to change your style of singing or in?
Yeah, you do. You explore different timbres of your voice. I mean, there's a whole different way that you get to use your voice, but that goes for whatever genre of music you're singing. If it's the blues, if it's jazz, if it's pop music, there's different tonalities to your voice, and the more you become aware of your instrument and your voice, you know where you can go and can't.
for it was my dream.
There's different ways of singing, different way of projecting your voice, and singing on the breath and a softness and laconicness to it. So, you know, I've been singing now for 30, maybe 30, 40 years now, so I'm a wee bit of aware of where I can go and can't.
Once upon a dream.
However many musicals you do, you're always going to be Marti Pellow.
That's one part of the side of what I do is I sing a songwriter. I sing, you know, with Wet Wet Wet. I believe that the mass public, will be familiar with me through that work. But when I'm on stage as a character, if they can't see by that, then more fool they. You know, it isn't Marty that's going out there and doing that. That's not what's required of me. Especially in these types of roles, you know, you've got to go beyond that.
The pickings have been lush, and yet before the evening is over, you might give me the brush.
I think the challenge always lies in when you take on these roles, especially when you're doing 8 shows a week, that there has to be a sense of growth in it from the start of my performance to when I do my last performance. You know, that whole journey is always exploring and just try and keep it fresh. And, you know, so I would say that, you know, that you grow in the part because, you know, it has many levels.
Luck be your lady tonight. Luck be your lady tonight.
What about the other side of it? Would you be interested in, you know, writing a musical?
Yeah, well, these are pet projects that I've been working on for several years. Because the more you live in this world, you see how it kind of clicks over and what your wish list would be to accomplish by writing a musical, and something that I've been toying with for a few years now.
Luck be a lady with me.
I think you should always just say that, you know, I want to do that, I want to try a bit of this, I want a slice of that cake, I might try that sweetie. You know, I think you should, you know, when you have a fan base that affords you the luxury of having an eclectic career and going in different tangents or whatever with it, and I'm prepared to subscribe to that and come on that journey with me, I'm very lucky indeed.
Baby, I'm the fella that you came with. Luck be a lady tonight.
Marti Pellow there, and that song Luck Be a Lady, that is from a forthcoming album of his. It will be out in March. It's called Hope, and it's songs from the shows. And Marti Pellow was talking there to the Culture Studios' Amy Ferguson. Evita is on at the Playhouse in Edinburgh until Saturday the 8th of February, so you've got another week to go. Additional matinee performances tomorrow, Wednesday and next Saturday.